Let's go.
Hi, my name is Daryn Young. I'm a new and used truck sales representative for Rush Albuquerque. I got a truck here I want to present to you guys. Come on, let's check it out. So here we have a 2019 389 4-axle day cab. I want to mention that we have matching Dana Spicer axles on all four. Let's dive into this front axle. So here we have a 20,000 pound tape relief suspension with a 415 Bridgestone. Having this 415 Bridgestone guarantees that you will have the legal capability to fully haul the maximum capacity of this front axle, which is 20,000, and that's in every single state. So let's dive down a little bit further. Here we have a mid-sized depth tank with a 90-gallon size driver tank with a 120-gallon passenger size tank. Both polished tanks. Diving into something a little bit more interesting. Here we have a 20,000 pound steerable pusher axle. Putting this steerable pusher axle increases your resale capability and also lowers your bottom dollar. How so? If you put a standard pusher axle, you deal with a lot of scrubbing. With the steerable pusher axle, it has a steerable capability, which means that the tire will roll instead of drag. Once again, you lower the bottom dollar and increase the resale value. That's just the maximum return on your investment. We have a 30-inch Hodge-built quarter fender, the best of which you can get from the factory. Now, let's dive into the 46,000 pound New Way suspension. New Way is also something that will increase the resale of your vehicle and also lower the bottom cost. From not having to replace this often, and also the airbags themselves being thicker, if this truck, which it most likely will be, goes off-road, you don't have to worry about the airbag tearing. You don't have to worry about having to pay that tow bill to get you from the middle of nowhere back to your local Rush dealership. One last thing I also failed to mention. It increases the smoothness of the ride. Everybody that's driven this truck has loved it. So let's work our way to the back. We have your premium mud flap hangers. People like to steal things. On top of it looking good, it makes it that much harder for someone to steal your mud flaps. Trailer connections on the rear to make sure whatever application that the owner or driver will need this truck to do, it has the capability to do it. FW35 fifth wheel with 72-inch fifth wheel slide. We pushed it back as far as possible because we know there's a strong chance there's going to be Kozak ramps added to the back of this truck. So we make it to where you don't need to cut the hex bolts. And besides, we don't want you to cut the hex bolts anyway. We want the truck to be built exactly the way you want it and ready to go the day you purchase it. So since we're up here in cold country, the coil trailer connections, they snap in cold weather. We go with the straights to make sure that they don't snap. Also, again, to make sure you're not purchasing things you already bought. Customers love them, we love them. Less of a headache for both people. Cabin suspension. Dual stacks, 60 inches with a 45-degree cut and a 7-inch diameter. It's big boys. You got a big truck, you might as well have the big stacks to make it match the party. 15-inch SS premium air cleaners. It's the best you can get from the factory. Gives you a little bit better performance and also resale and style points. So diving into the front of the truck, you'll see that we have a removable bug screen behind the grille, protecting your radiator, protecting your investment. Tow pin on the front, easy access if you ever need it. And then normally with a 389, we will go with the big Texas bumper. We did the taper for this, knowing that this truck will most likely be off-road, once again, protecting your investment, keeping you from buying a bumper which you've already purchased. So, if you were to come to the side of this truck, you would notice something. And you probably ask the question, why is this truck not a long hood? Well, beforehand, we had a lot of issues with our 4-axles. People were complaining that we couldn't get the full capacity of the 20,000 to the front axle. So, to do that, we did a combination of two things. Shorten the wheelbase, and on top of that, we gave you a short hood, dropping your wheelbase down from 301 to 279. That right there should reassure the fact that you should get your full 20,000 pounds to that front axle and get your full investment of what you put into this vehicle. Now, one other thing we did forget to mention is that's a 60-inch spread between all three of those axles, giving you the capability to haul in Canada. got you built. So, as we're about to get into the vehicle, if you looked at this frame, you probably wouldn't notice it. But this is the biggest frame you could put on the truck. This is 11 5/8 frame with a full sleeve liner. So we have double frames with a zinc coating spray to make sure that this truck does not rust ever. So if you're in Florida, you're dealing with a lot of rust, and your local dealership isn't doing that to keep you from having to spend extra money, come down to us and we got you. So if you could come to the door, I can show you that we have the pusher axle controls right under the cabin on the driver's side. Legal by DOT and easy access by the driver. So if you would go in there, I'll meet you on the other. So here we have sear seats, maximizing the comfortability of the driver. I mean, if you're the owner or if you have a driver, I'm sure you would want them to be comfortable. These seats guarantee that. Now, when it comes to a heavy haul driver, they're not your standard driver. They haul a lot more weight and they deal with a lot more things than your standard driver, so they need to know more about their truck than their standard driver. So that's why we did a full gauge package between air filter restriction gauges, fuel filter gauges, general air pressure, oil temperatures, pusher axle pressure, tandem temperatures, manifold or transmission or turbo pressure. You have the DEF fluid, plus you have the rear and the front axle temperatures, trailer supply and or ammeter, load suspension, and brake application. We have 2 PTO switches. We have the air suspension, 5th wheel slide, and full locking differential, something that is extremely needed. We have a 6S6M, the only person to have standard, the only brand to have a standard 6S6M traction control system. So with that, you definitely need a full locking differential to make sure you're never stuck in sticky situations. Mid-level speakers, making sure that it's not just tweeters, you have a little bit of bass in here. You have a spotlight over here. And of course, air horns, which you will see when we get out this vehicle. There are 2. So we have a tilt and pull capability of the steering column. And also, we have powered windows and mirrors, heated mirrors for when you come out and your mirrors are frozen, and mechanical locking doors. So if you would meet me outside, we can kind of touch into the last little bits of this presentation. So don't stop. So as you can see, those are the air horns that I was mentioning. We also have logger style antennas. A little clean look. So this is the real interesting part. Come on, let's check this bad boy out. So this is the new X15, actually the 2nd year of it being out. Cummins came out with it with the 2018 models. Of course, this is the 2019, so we've had a year and some change to see if this engine doesn't work, and our customers have loved it. If anything, it's the front runner of the future generation of engines. Meaning, smaller EGR valve. We're not relying on dirty fuel to go through the engine over and over again and clogging up everything. They've actually reduced the after-treatment system down by 50% in physical size, combining the SCR and the DPF filter into the same canister. By doing that, the engine's not restricted. It can breathe. If anything, it's the closest engine to come out to a pre-emission truck since the pre-emission trucks. So, if you're trying to get out of your pre-emission but you're worried about emission, X15 is what you need. Now, this is the big boy. Since this is a heavy truck, we put the big engine in it. So we got the 565 Performance X15 engine, 2050 torque with, check this, a 2250 torque transmission. The transmission can handle 200 more pounds of torque than what the engine could put out. That alone right there reassures that transmission isn't gonna break on you anytime soon. Now, you probably heard me say performance. Well, Cummins came out with 2 different sets of engines, an efficiency and a performance. Anything that ends with a 5 is a performance, meaning that power band stretches all the way to 1900, where peak torque actually starts at 11 and your equilibrium 1500. So, I don't know if you're impressed, But if you're not, come take this thing for a test drive and tell me what you think then. I want to let you know something. Rush as an enterprise, let alone Rush Albuquerque, we believe in excellence. We believe in making sure the customer feels special. And we believe in treating you with the utmost respect. So not only will you get a Class A truck, especially from your Rush Albuquerque, you will get excellent service from the service department. You'll get excellent quotes from the parts department, and the body shop will take care of any need that happens to your truck. Let's not forget to mention our paint booth, where we have an excellent painter. So you got two options. You can either settle for the rest, or you can get with the best. Give us a call, 505-839-3605. Rush Truck Center, Albuquerque. Thank you.